Hi, this is Koko from Georgia, and I talked a lot about my career experiences. I don't remember about what precisely, but you'll hear a lot from me in this video, so just go ahead.
Hello, my name is Oliver and I am a trans guy who makes videos about LGBTQIA+ people where they get to talk about anything that they want that somehow relates to them being queer. In early September, I went on a trip around Armenia, Georgia and Azerbaijan. And in Tbilisi, Georgia, I had the privilege of meeting up with Koko.
So this is Koko from a really small Caucasian country, Georgia, not the state in US, in Caucasia. Thank you. Sakartvelo we call it. Well, actually Koko is not my real name, but it became real for the last couple of years. So I created this persona that was completely different from my childhood version. So I named her Koko, and now this is who I am.
This is what their childhood was like.
Honestly, growing up, I had this pressure to act like a girl, to be this very reserved lady, to act ladylike, to be very sophisticated and gentle, and everybody being brought up, they're being taught all this manners and standards, and especially the environment I grew up in. It's this strict religious environment because I went to religious school for 12 years straight. If you want to survive there, you need to go with the flow. So I felt a lot of pressure, not gonna lie. And then a couple of years back, when I finally got out of there, I always had this pressure that okay, a girl, I'm a girl, I'm a female. And it's even with my performances in the very beginning, it was always I would always write this: Koko is a female performer, female artist. And it's I did not understand where was this pressure coming from. But then I just had this realization, and it just hit me that I was putting to my pressure myself, on myself, because I wanted to be a girl.
But then they realized that they're not.
For me, then it just came to me that all this gender identity, it's very performative. You might present yourself in a certain way, and I do love being feminine. It's I just love feminine energy, and I love embracing it because I have it in me a lot. So it's it's good, but it does not necessarily mean that this is why I identify myself, because I do not feel like a girl all the time, honestly most of the times, but I do love presenting myself as one because it's just fun. For me, it's just a small part of representation of myself, my character, so my persona. It's just a part of it, but it's not me. I'm just so surprised because it took years for me to figure it out. It took years to understand that I was the one who was putting a lot of pressure on myself because I wanted to be a girl. So I was always if I had a chance, I would say that I'm a girl. And I have no idea why. It's just, I don't know. Maybe it was just this inner conflict, maybe, because it's on one hand, there's all this knowledge that people give you when you're being raised. Because, you do have your authorities when you grow up as a little kid, you have your authorities, and it's even if you question them, you are inclined to, nod in your head, you agree because they're authorities, they're correct, you need to listen to them. But on the other hand, there's this inner voice inside you that might not really agree to what the authorities have to say all the time. So it's there's this inner conflict because, that is true, but you also feel you are right as well. So it's this inner conflict, but people can perceive it that way. It's fine. I don't get mad or anything. I'm not being super protective over my gender identity. It's okay. I'm pretty chill about it because how can I ask other people to accept the way that I perceive myself when me myself, I was the first person that had problems with it.
So what's it like being queer in Georgia?
Being queer in Georgia, how safe is that? Depends on how safe you make it to some extent. For me personally, it's just that the places that I go to, they are safe. This small friend group that I have, we accept each other, we know each other, we're good. But I tend not to use, let's say, public transport or go to super crowded places alone all the time because you never know. I had pretty bad experiences being called out in the streets by pretty aggressive, usually actually men. So it's like, depends on how you work around it. If you have your own small bubble that you hang out with most of the times, and if you hang out in safe places, then you're good. But not all of the people can afford this lifestyle as well. For me, being here for 20 plus years now, because I was born here, raised here, it's like I got used to the situation here, so I know the danger, it's familiar to me, and it's less scary now. And if I go, let's say, to other country to feel safe there, honestly, it sounds more scary to me because I don't know what's there, I'm not familiar with the danger. And this uncertainty and less of clarity scares me a lot. And then here it's like I've lived my life here. I know this country, I know people here. Again, I know risks and I know how to work around them, more or less. So that's how I navigate.
Koko is a performer, and that has helped them a lot to get over their childhood traumas.
Being raised the way that I was always taught to, being reserved, not to speak my mind often. If I would disagree with something, just to keep my mouth shut, not to be sexy, be pretty, but don't be too sexy. It's like, it's terrible things that that teach you as a young girl, Georgian girl. I tried to find ways to unlearn all this like stupid, terrible things that I was being taught, and I wanted to be sexy. I wanted to express myself. I wanted to express my sexuality. I wanted over-the-top looks, makeups. That I want this like huge eyeliners. I want this red pigments on my eyes, on my cheeks. It's like I want to express it. It went completely against to what I was being taught. So that's why I kind of started looking for the ways to overcome that and unlearn that. Because I'm a really shy person, although you cannot really tell that. It's just that dancing helped me a lot. So I started voguing a couple of years back, and it just helped me so much into making peace with my body and with myself, and it just helped me to learn slightly how to control my body, like how to use that, how to represent it, how to just be in it and how to love it. Because Vogue is a lot about self-expression, how you present yourself, and for me, being taught to be expressive, being encouraged to be sexy and like a bitch and like cunt on the stage, it was like so new to me, and I loved that. I was like, oh my god, that's me. I want to be that. I'm a cunt, A lot of what I do on the stage is just this battle with myself. Like every performance is one more battle that I win with myself, like with the past of me, my life. So for me, everything that I do, being like drag, I do not consider myself to be a drag queen, I'm a drag princess. And all this like voguing, dancing, being maybe overly sexual, like on the stage, it's and not only, like every form of what I do on the stage is different kinds of battles that I have with myself. So it's I do it because I need it, and it helps others too, because I have so many people approaching me and telling me like, fuck, like, thank you. Because when they see a representation of themselves on the stage, when they see that, oh my god, this bitch is relevant, oh my god, she's so screwed, she's so fucked up, but she's so relevant, it's like they can relate to the experiences that I have.
Koko is also really expressive with their looks and outfits in their day-to-day life.
At work, we have all this like standards of how you are supposed to look like as a professional manager in a huge corporation, in a professional environment. So the people have this predefined understanding of what a professional environment should look like, and what is a professional setting, and who is a professional. You need to look formal, like business casual. There are all this like references of the shoes that you need to wear, the suits that you need to wear, the makeup, natural, office makeup. It's stupid, not gonna lie, it's so stupid. I've been approached by my direct manager pointing out my platform shoes that I was wearing on the business professional meeting. And he was like, you need to be a role model for the people that you manage, because when they see you, they see a presentation of the company that you work in, and they need to see a professional, not the one on the platforms. It's just so stupid to me, because that's not the whole story. It's like being a role model does not really include the size of the platforms that you're standing on. It's like how you communicate with the people, how you assist them, what kind of tone to use when you talk to them, and what kind of person you are, right? And for me, professionalism is in that. And if you think that a person should be a role model just by looking business casual, it's just, you need to check your priorities, seriously. For me, it's like being queer in the office professional environment is all about like pushing this standards, not intentionally, but just by being me, because when people see a person that looks weird for the office, but oh my god, actually, okay, professional manner of communication, good writing skills, like problem-solving skills. It's like, okay, I guess it's okay and it's normal. Bitch, yeah, it is normal. So that's what it's like. People are like really accepting, actually. Even with my like bleached brows and piercings and the makeup and my outfits, they're like pretty accepting. Most of them. Most of them.
Finally, if someone watching is going through a hard time right now, Koko has something to say.
If there's someone that is watching and listening to this rambling of mine, it's gonna be alright, seriously. Girl, you have no idea. You are gonna figure it out. You will surprise yourself. You have so much in you, you have no idea. It's like, okay, I'm talking to myself, but anyways, I'm talking to other people too with the same experiences. It's like, everybody is like, I feel like, has some sort of wisdom in themselves, like this wisdom of living as a person, because all this like different experiences and interactions with so many different people, it just makes you wise, because it just helps you to learn how to navigate in life. It just helps you understand you better. So it's just the journey. If people cannot figure it out, if they were struggling as me to not understand why was I being so stressed about being a girl, and it's, oh my god, it's so okay. They will figure it out. It just takes time, and just trust the process. I would say, just give in, and express yourself. Be a bit overdressed. Although I do not agree with this term. Overdressing is not a thing. It's just people are lazy to dress. So do you boo? Dress well. Put that makeup on. Put that huge platforms on. Just do you, do you.
If you enjoyed watching that video, please like, comment, subscribe and share the video. I really appreciate you showing your love in that way. If you also want to support the channel financially, that's possible via Patreon, but really no pressure. See you next time!